Deputy Donnelly.
Thanks, Ken Corla. Taoiseach, today's independent newspaper contains a report that a dossier has been presented to the Garda Commissioner on the conduct of a previous NAMA employee. And it says that the dossier includes an allegation that the official fed information from NAMA to named individuals who shouldn't have received it. Now, the Daily Mail also references allegations of price manipulation and off-market deals, very serious allegations. And my understanding, Taoiseach, is that several news outlets have significantly more information which they are examining involving potentially improper behaviour by NAMA. Now, I hope, as I'm sure we all do, that these allegations are baseless. But if they're not, it's possible that the state will be exposed to very significant costs if, for example, an aggrieved party were to seek and be awarded damages for potential behaviour. And Taoiseach, regardless of whether or not the allegations are true, and I hope they're not true, the allegations, in my opinion, compromise NAMA's ability, whilst left untested, compromise NAMA's ability to do the best job it can in returning as much money to the state as possible. So, for example, a potential bidder for NAMA assets may decide they're not going to bid because they may feel that some other bidders have access to confidential information which they do not. Now, Taoiseach, these allegations, as you know, aren't new. The allegations around the official surfaced in 2011. The Garda began investigations at NAMA's request in 2011, and in 2012 NAMA conducted its own report. So, Taoiseach, can I ask, since 2011 and since these initial allegations, what steps your government has taken to ensure that no leaking of confidential information from NAMA can take place? And can I ask, are you satisfied that all steps have been taken such that NAMA now is watertight? Thank you.
Thank you. Taoiseach.
Well, first of all, Deputy Donnelly, the government take this matter very seriously indeed. The point you raised is one of concern and substance. I note the statement from NAMA yesterday, which says the Senator's comments in the Shannon this afternoon suggest that he has evidence of impropriety involving staff members, plural, of NAMA. He has not shared any such evidence with NAMA, nor has NAMA received any such evidence from any other party. If the Senator or any other party has evidence of any impropriety, they are legally obliged, under Section 19 of the Criminal Justice Act of 2011, to bring it to the immediate attention of the Garda Síochána. Now, that means that the Act itself, as you're aware, since it went through the House here and became law, makes it a criminal offence and a legal requirement that if anybody has any information about impropriety, to bring it to the attention of the Gardaí directly. So the Minister for Finance, Deputy Donnelly, or the Minister for Justice and Equality, or the government, is not involved in carrying out any criminal investigations, but these are serious matters. So let me repeat that anybody who has information about improprieties or illegal actions or whatever else, let them bring them under the relevant section of the Act, Section 19, to the attention of the Gardaí straight away. There are specific offences under the NAMA Act of 2009 in regard to the inappropriate disclosure of confidential information. Now, I understand that an investigation by Garda Síochána into a complaint made by NAMA some time ago against a former employee is at a very advanced stage. So I can't comment on that. But more recently, in August of this year, Garda Síochána received a separate complaint from a firm of solicitors acting on behalf of a client relating to the alleged disclosure of information by NAMA. The Gardaí, which are the appropriate authority here, have been waiting receipt of further documentation from the solicitors concerned. And the Gardaí, of course, will fully investigate any allegations of criminal activity. I understand that NAMA was informed by a journalist over the weekend that certain allegations have been made by a former employee about the activities of current and former NAMA staff. Well, NAMA cannot and will not issue any public comment about ongoing Garda investigations or the background to it, so as not to prejudice the outcome of any investigations that take place. and NAMA, Deputy Donnelly, have not been contacted by the Gardaí to date in connection with the allegations. So, other than what has appeared in the public press yesterday, NAMA has no specific knowledge of these allegations and therefore will not make any public comment other than the press statement that they issued yesterday, indicating that if somebody has an issue, you bring it to the attention of the relevant authorities forthwith.
Thank you, Taoiseach. It seems to me, and I think many deputies in the House would agree, that an organisation as powerful as NAMA and dealing with information as sensitive as that which NAMA deals with should never have been set up, not by your government, should never have been set up under the veil of secrecy that it was set up under. And the Gardaí, as you say, will investigate these allegations, and if they deem appropriate, they will prepare a file for the DPP. The issue that I'm asking you about, Taoiseach, is whether or not you are confident that sufficient systems and processes are in place such that NAMA is watertight. Because NAMA must be above reproach. As I say, I hope the allegations are unfounded, I hope they're untrue. But the suggestion that NAMA is leaking confidential information, and you referred to a second case which now lawyers have been contacted about, which I believe alleges the leaking of confidential information, and there may be more to come. NAMA must be above reproach. NAMA must be able to operate such that it can return as much money to the state as possible. So the question I asked you, Taoiseach, was, are you comfortable that the systems and procedures in NAMA are as good as they can possibly be? And if you're not, do you think it might be wise to urgently set up an independent external review of those systems and procedures, so that, which the Gardaí cannot do? They're not set up to do that. NAMA itself can't do it. Nobody can investigate itself in that way. Do you think there is a compelling argument to set up a quick and urgent investigation to look at those systems and procedures such that anybody who is dealing with NAMA, anyone who is looking at buying assets off NAMA, can be absolutely assured that people they are bidding against could not possibly have access to confidential information which would make it more difficult for them to bid fairly? Thank you.
Yeah, these are, as I say, Deputy Donnelly, the government take this very seriously. Now, there are two cases here. One is nearing completion by a formal investigation by the Gardaí, and that will come to its conclusion, I expect. And the second is arising from contact made recently, and NAMA themselves have not been contacted formally by the Gardaí arising from those allegations. You make a point about people perhaps not following through on an initial interest in a property or a loan or whatever because of the concern that you mentioned that somebody might have other information. Well, you're aware that NAMA requires that all loans and on all properties and other assets securing these loans has to be conducted on a competitive, fully open basis by suitably qualified sales agents, and in all events, NAMA insists on independent valuations of all the assets and to deal with that particular issue. And they also require that sales agents prepare a final report and a recommendation. And in those reports, Deputy Donnelly, it's a requirement that there be a summary of the marketing campaign undertaken, a list of all the parties who expressed interest in the loan or the real estate or were contacted during the marketing campaign, a recommendation to accept the terms of the purchaser's offer as the best price reasonably obtainable, and confirmation that the agent has reviewed the purchaser's confirmation relating to connected party sales, and a statement disclosing any commercial relationship between the agent, the debtor, the purchaser, or the purchaser's ultimate beneficial owners in the past 5 years, and how any actual or perceived conflict of interest was managed during the sales process. You can understand why that applies. So that applies to all interested parties, that they're given equal opportunity to bid for and to purchase loans or properties sold by NAMA or by NAMA debtors and receivers. None more than any other citizen in the country I'm bound by the same legislation as anybody else in terms of making contact here with NAMA. But I take your point. But am I happy or confident that all the systems are in order? Well, I'm not in touch with NAMA because of that fact. But obviously, the Minister for Finance is in touch with NAMA in respect of official matters, and perhaps following the conclusion of the two Garda investigations, that is, if the Gardaí follow through on the second one, clearly it's an issue that the Minister will be cognizant of, taking into account the constraints that are upon him as a citizen or as a public representative in terms of the law here.